My name is Darren Joseph from Welcome to Tax, of the firm where we seek to demystify this somewhat confusing world of international tax and compliance. Today, we're going to do it a bit differently. Rather than just talk tax, we have the opportunity and the privilege to have a conversation with Mick, a friend. He's not a client, a friend who does live that international lifestyle. Mick, do you want to say a few words, introduce yourself to those who may be listening or watching?
Well, thank you. I don't think it's a privilege you having me. I think it's the other way around. But I'm flattered, so thank you very much. So I'm Mick Newman. I know this gentleman for, I think, the better part of 25 years, and we've been on a hell of a journey together. I live a sort of semi-nomadic lifestyle, I believe, in the sense that I split my time evenly between the Caribbean and the UK. Sort of every 5 to 6 weeks, I'm back and forth. And this presents some interesting, revelations about lifestyle and the realities of doing business and having multi-jurisdictional clients, which is something that Darren has lived for the past, I believe, 15 to 20 years. And I've been sort of living it, but it's been more amplified since post-COVID.
Mick is, let me put it this way, he's an Oxford-educated entrepreneur, international consultant. Of course, I don't want to get into specifics of what you do because, of course, your clients are quite confidential. But I think that creates context as to who you are and the breadth of experience and competence you bring to a conversation and a consideration like this. The UK is going through its challenges as well. The UK is going through some challenges right now. But I know from previous conversations that you're really bullish on the future of the UK. Can you give us an idea as to why? What do you see from your perspective? You're an insider, you're there. What do you see going on that gives, a positive shine to the future?
Well, that's a solid question. Well, you know me, I'm a big believer in, the UK and Britain PLC, particularly. I think that the UK has a real opportunity to position itself as the world, if not one of, but the world center of high-end services. We have, as I think we're the sixth largest economy in the world now. We're still, at least for now. But in terms of capability, we punch way above our size globally in terms of both capability, hard and soft power. Everything from financial services, biomedicines, nanotechnology, manufacturing, legal services, technology services. I mean, you name it, right across a broad spectrum of industries and sectors. Britain has some of the world's most talented people and a system that really drives innovation. So when I spoke earlier about, there's real hubs of innovation internationally, globally, Britain is one of them. So, we're seeing, most recently, you saw Tata's commitment, the $5 billion investment into building, the EV, the gigabyte plants for manufacturing. That's a great indication of how investors see the UK, right? I travel like you. I travel all across the world, and I see and I feel the respect majority that people have for British culture, and we are sort of in many ways the world's diplomats. So you see Brits getting involved in negotiating and peacekeeping and all those sort of things, all across the world, and I think there's a reason for that. They have a natural affinity for that because of years and centuries of being able to run, big parts of the world, right? Even though there were negatives to it, there were still positives to it. The third thing I see, Britain has a remarkable infrastructure, right? Everything from, I think we're 4G going in 5G, some parts 5G, but we're definitely 4G now, The logistics infrastructure in the UK is world class. You can order something from Amazon at 9 a.m. and it'll arrive by 5 p.m., 6 p.m., same day, right? Where I am in the West Midlands, it is the manufacturing and distribution hub of the UK. So you can see, solid investment and solid activity happening up here. And then, of course, you have London to the south. And then, of course, you have the northern parts of England and Scotland. But there is tremendous opportunity. And you're seeing it now by the investment and how they're allocating capital across major parts of the country. The final bit, and this is the bit that I think is I'll choose my words very carefully on this. You and I both know that the geopolitics of the world is changing. Some people say it's devolving. I say it's evolving. It's sort of natural course, right, of human evolution. I think that the UK has a major role to play in shaping the hearts and minds of the next generation of the future. And you see it through our schools. You see, the majority of our students, right, in our top on all our universities in the UK, right, and professional associations come from emerging markets, and they're coming from the biggest emerging markets in the world. So they're being educated here, and some are staying but going back home, and they have there's a sort of affinity to Britain and a way that we do things, and I think that will manifest itself in our ability to build not just capability but build businesses, right, with these markets and these people over the next 20 years, right? So that's sort of the big things for me. Britain for me has a really good future, right? We'll navigate some difficult parts right now, especially since we came into the EU and stuff. But the country's been around for a long time. It's going to be around for a long time to come, and it will still be, I think, a major player in the world order.
Okay, fantastic. That's in Singapore. For those who watching this for the first time, I've been based in Singapore for a little over 10 years now. But it's often said that Singapore punches above its weight. But Singapore learned that from the UK, because the UK has always punched above its weight, given its really small size. I mean, you just have to look at a map to remind yourself of how tiny this country is, yet it is a world leader in so many spaces, as you pointed out. And historically, it has been that way, for hundreds of years. It's punched above its weight, and it's had an outsized influence in world affairs. And why should that suddenly change? And I think, especially for me, listening to what you said, the confidence of international investors, because, local people can say whatever they like, people can say what they like, but to put your money where your mouth is, different. That's a different conversation. And to see international investors making the moves that you pointed out, that is, there's nothing more to really add. And the education sector, yes, when you go to some of the campuses, not just for university, but some of the elite private schools, it is like a United Nations, as you pointed out. It is so many people from so many parts of the world coming there, and some stay from add value, or they go back to their countries of origin, and they move on with those British values. And I think putting those elements together, that definitely augurs well for the future. So thank you for that.
So if you're a 6, 7, or 8-figure investor, entrepreneur, or business owner who needs a tailor-made solution from a qualified team of professionals, we can help you achieve the international lifestyle, the freedom, and even the tax savings you're looking for. Visit us at htj.tax and live that international life.